What is going on, everybody? We are here, and it is episode 10. Welcome to the Model Mindset. My name is John. As always, I am joined by my friend Brian. So today, guys, we have a pretty cool topic on hand for you. It's something that BG and I were kind of brainstorming a little bit what we wanted to talk about, and we kind of always throw ideas back and forth to one another as far as what we feel is either prevalent in our days or our weeks, how things are going. And one thing that popped into our minds was the topic of negativity. And the topic of negativity isn't so much something that we wanted to talk about because we're feeling a lot of it. It's more so of the ways that we were able to move past it in our day-to-days. And, you know, we talk a lot about growth mindset between each other on here and how we kind of develop that growth mindset. And the way we really developed it in a lot of ways was removing a lot of the negativity in our days. And negativity can come from many ways, many places, many people, you know, many avenues in your day that you can run right into negativity. So it's something we felt that would be a fun conversation to have today. Everyone has negativity in their life, and something we can really dive into. So BG, how you feeling, man? Conquering the flu? How you doing, my guy?
Man, for anyone that has experienced the flu this season, it is no joke. It has whooped my ass, my wife's ass, my poor son Theo. He's actually bounced back a lot quicker than my wife and I. But this is, hey, you know, Jordan had the flu game. You boys got the flu podcast. So let's do this.
Jordan had food poisoning.
The flu game is a myth. Yeah, true. He did have food poisoning. Yes. So
I'm a Jordan hater. That's all right.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's the GOAT, but it's okay. But no, I'm doing okay. But I appreciate you bringing that up. Okay. So as far as our topic, man, you know, I think what's super interesting is that 80% of our thoughts are negative. And that's
80%.
And that's according to the National Science Foundation. And I think everybody knows that typically when you either wake up, anything, our thoughts tend to be negative. And so I think you'll agree with me when I say this, that we have learned from people that we follow, such as like Ed Milet, Tony Robbins, Jim Quick. They focus heavily on changing and stopping your negative thinking. Mm-hmm. So that means being aware of the constant negative thoughts, interrupting them, and either changing those thoughts. And you really have to dissect them, meaning, okay, are they benefiting me? Are they truthful? And if not, then, hey, let's spin it into a positive. Mm-hmm. So I think like that is what helped myself as far as trying to interrupt those negative thoughts. Have you found that since you have the growth mindset now, and you and I and Josh talk about it a lot, have you found that you're able to interrupt those negative thoughts that you may have on a daily basis or not?
Yeah, and I think I found the ways that I maybe have been doing it for a while, but never thought of it in a sense of I was eliminating negative thoughts or changing my state. It was more so just, I've always been someone that, if negativity was around me or something like that, I didn't want any part of it. It just wasn't kind of who I am as a person. So I never really was, encompassed by a lot of negativity because I wouldn't allow myself to be. But when I was, I would do certain things to remove negativity or almost like it would be like maintenance, like things like meditation. You know what I mean? Like that's something that, what we talked about is with changing your state. That's a way you can change your state is through meditation. And I guess I never realized for almost 2 years now, I've been meditating.
Yeah.
But I just realized that I've been meditating about 4 or 5 months ago. I didn't realize that's what it was. But it's exactly what it was. Yeah. And I do it 5 times a week. I go to the same place 5 times a week. I'm there for anywhere from 20 minutes to 45 minutes or so. I don't talk to anybody. No one's there. It's just a place that I can go and I can kind of do my own thing. I do the same exact thing every time I'm there. I walk the same exact places. I stop the same exact places. I will touch the same exact things. I visualize things while I'm there. And it's just a way for me to kind of reset. So it's a way I can change my state, but it's a way that It's certainly a way that I've maintained and done maintenance on my brain to keep the negativity out, keep the positive movements and energy in, and it's been a huge help to me. So yeah, there's ways that you can realize that even after the fact, in your growth mindset and stuff like that, how you are keeping that negative energy and negative mindset out and maintaining a growth one.
And that, honestly, that's something that I need to do better at, is meditating.
Yeah.
And I mean, there so many people recommend it, and I have to do a better job of that myself. But when you find that you have meditated, would you sometimes approach like your meditation, not necessarily in a bad mood, because you don't strike me as a dude that's in a bad mood, but maybe you're stressed out from work or something.
Yeah.
After you meditate, are you in a completely different mood, almost like after the gym?
Yeah. So it's a yes. And so there's a perfect example. Okay. So usually, if on my board every morning, when I set my board up, if it's going to be sunny, I'll check the weather. I want to make sure if it's going to be sunny or not. I like to know the weather. If I see sun, I write sunshine in the spot that I'm thankful for. I love the sun. Okay. But it was last week. I forget the day. It was maybe Thursday. It was a really dreary day, just like a overcast, not raining, but overcast, but kind of warm still. I forget what day it was. And so I get down there, and the very second, I wasn't in a bad mood at all, just a normal day. But the very second I got down to where I usually meditate, it was like this immense sense of calm came over me. And I don't know why. And I'm sitting there and I'm actively talking out loud. No one's there, but I'm talking out loud. I'm going, what about today is giving like this sense of overwhelming calm I have right now? What about it? Yeah. I'm looking around and I'm like, it has to do with like the way the weather was. It had to do with like my environment at that moment, but it was like, I'm like, is it reminding me of something? Is it drawing some kind of memory that I can't put my finger on right now? Or is it just something right now that I should remember this because in the coming day or 2 or 3, something will happen that will make me be like, okay, that's what it was like a precursor to or whatever. Right. But, it was just like this crazy, crazy sense of calm. And I don't get that a lot when I meditate. I more so just feel like a little more relaxed and kind of get some thoughts out, and then I can carry on with my day.
Yeah.
But man, that day last week, I've had those maybe 5 times in 2 years, and it was just one of those days where I was like, holy shit! Like it was so calming, and so it's a very, very different sensation when you can get to like that point. You know what I mean? But it really is just a way that I feel like I've just kind of really calmed myself for the day for the most part when I meditate and I leave. I feel like it's just a way I can purge thoughts without anybody hearing it or hearing anything from anybody. So it's different. It's very different. I'd highly recommend it though. If you don't, and then there's a thing called movement meditation, which is what I do. I don't sit still. I don't cross my legs. I don't do those things where like there's like a setting I need to like physically stay in one spot. I move around, I walk around. People do it. People garden when they meditate sometimes. Like there's movement meditation too. So it's a different topic, but certainly has helped me move negativity out of my life through meditation 100%.
You know what's funny too is this kind of goes in the same thing because I mean, I also find that when I exercise, any negativity that I had maybe prior going to the gym, even though I'm in a fantastic mood on the way to the gym. Yeah. But like as I'm working out, I'm in a great mood, anything. But what I've also noticed is like when I walk. So when you're talking about movement meditation, I went on the East Longmeadow Trail maybe 2-3 weeks ago when I had like a week off. Yeah. And it was just a really nice day, man. And like I was fine. Not like negative thoughts or anything, but I'm like, you know what? Actually, you know what? No. I think I was in a little bit of a slumber because I think I was dwelling on maybe a family thing that was going on that I was maybe thinking about too much.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna go for a walk. And man, like you're talking about movement meditation. I think not with me thinking about it now or talking about it with you, I think it was a type because I put on just like a really cool podcast and I just walked 3 miles, man. And like I wasn't sweating, like I wasn't walking like
Right.
super fast. It was just very methodical,
Hmm.
and I just enjoyed the entire walk.
Yeah.
And I think, again, another way for you to change your state is to exercise, is to also move. Tony
Hmm.
Robbins mentions it all the time. Ed Milet, Jim Quick. When you are either anxious, fearful, um, your mind is spiraling into negativity, interrupt those thoughts, get up, change your state, move. I know Tony Robbins is big into like literally getting up and like yelling,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
2 inhales through your nose and then out through your mouth 3 times. Again, it's a way to interrupt your negative thoughts. I actually used this a couple years ago when I was preparing for a job interview, and the nurse caught up with me, man. I was prepared. I was very prepared. But about 5 minutes before the interview, my nerves just kicked into like high gear, man. And I was like, I got to do something to calm down.
Hmm.
So I literally got up and I just started yelling for no reason, just getting up and yelling. But when I did that, uh, I came back down and I felt really good.
Yeah.
I was no longer nervous. I was calmer. And
Hmm.
then the interview started, man, and I crushed it. I didn't get the
Yeah.
job, but like I killed the
but
interview.
you conquered that practice though.
Right.
Like you figured out that, okay, that works for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's a way that I can change my state, remove negativity, remove
Yeah.
those vibes out of my body,
Yeah.
and kind of carry on successfully.
Yeah.
Job or not, you nailed the interview, like you said. You felt good about it, then hey man, that's a win. So
100%. Oh, yeah.
are there any other ways aside from as you've gotten older, man, and like
Yeah.
you're obviously working towards a lot right now, and are there things that you've found within yourself that are helping with either removing negativity from your life or like even the people in it?
Yeah.
Are you noticing like those kind of things changing a lot within like your life as you're moving forward?
Yeah. I think I'm a lot more deliberate with who I surround myself with, especially, um, I tend not to surround myself with negative people anyway. So I don't want
Yeah.
to come across like, oh, I'm Xing people out of my life because they're
Right.
negative. I
Yeah.
really don't do that. Um, but I remember this gentleman from work. He was just constantly negative. It could be sun shining and everything, and this dude would be negative.
Mhm.
And all of us that would surround ourselves eating lunch with this one gentleman would be like, "Why are you so negative, man? Like, why?" You know what I mean? And he would just go into some dumb reason why he would be in either like such a shit mood, and he wonders why he's single. But it's like, dude, because people don't want to be around that. It
So true.
sucks. It sucks the energy out. It sucks the energy out. And like
Yep.
we always look forward to having lunch. And then
Hmm.
he's a good dude. He's a good dude, but his mind was just so negative and toxic that it
Yeah.
would ruin that lunch.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
mean, let's be real. If you are someone that tends to talk or think negatively, or I should say, think negatively and then vocalize it
Hmm.
around to your friends, around to people, take a second, look in the mirror, acknowledge it, understand why you're focusing so much on negativity and
Hmm.
vocalizing it. Because I'm telling you right now, people don't want to be around that. And
Yeah.
what's going to happen is that your circles are going to become a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand you're the reason because you're negative, man, you got to stop, man. Like, you got to
Yeah.
stop, because there's a
Yeah.
couple people that I know that are very negative, and a lot of people don't like to be around them.
Yeah.
And
Have
it's
you ever
because they
heard the
bring a
term?
pattern.
Have you ever heard the term energy vampire?
I'm assuming because they suck the life
They
out of it.
suck the life out of the room. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
I heard it recently. I'm like, holy shit, I like that. But
Yeah.
like but you're 100% right. And I think like for me, you can still have those people in your life,
Mhm.
but you learn certainly how to keep them at a distance.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like you learn that they
Conversations
can't.
at a minimal.
And it's almost like exactly, and it's almost like you're like a fighter, right? And you're just your reach is your advantage, right? As a fighter, you want your reach to be your advantage. So if you can just keep them away from you, so they can't hit you with that big blow,
Yeah.
then you know what? They can still be around you, but they can't get me, right? So it's like that's kind of how like I visualize it a lot of times too. So, there's certainly ways that listen, and there's something I read recently too about and I don't want to use the term gossip, but it's like that. People who talk about other people when they're not around, right?
Yeah.
Why do they do that? Why do people do that? And it's so common and it happens everywhere. And it's usually, everyone has their own little friend group and there's always someone that's talking about somebody else or whatever like that, right?
Yeah.
And from what I read, it's because it creates like a bonding experience because you feel like you have this secretive information and it's something that you all can join in on and it's a way to bond. And it's not so much that, you're projecting because you're jealous or whatever it may be. It's because that all of a sudden, once that starts, everyone gets a little closer. And everyone starts to talk a little more quiet. And then everyone starts to put in their 2 cents about this individual, whatever it may be. And at the end of the day, what are you accomplishing by doing that, right? If you don't like someone, then fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, it's as simple as that. Like leave them alone. You know what I mean? Because they're obviously, when you're talking about them, they're impacting your day in some way.
Yeah.
So keep them at bay. Don't use your reach.
See, I always felt like with that, when people are trying to tear someone down, I do feel like part of it could be because of either they're jealous of what someone may have.
Yeah.
Because maybe they don't have that in their life.
Yeah.
Could be financial, could be, maybe they don't have as many friends or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they just try to beat that person down. I mean, we see it a lot too with, people that are in the sports industry. Look at Team USA. They lost 3-1. Was it their best display of soccer? They would probably say no. But you know what? They made it out of the group.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive,
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, if you ask every single one of those guys, were they happy about the performance? No. And I guarantee you they're going to sleep with that for a long time. And then I see, like sports broadcasters ripping them a new one. I see stuff on Facebook, people just ripping them too. And it's like, man, these dudes gave everything they could, and they played a very talented Netherlands team. And sometimes you don't have your best game.
No, you're right. And I'm not saying it's never about jealousy.
Yeah.
Because it is. It certainly can be. I'm just saying, from the things that I've read and stuff like that, that's something that surprised me, that it was almost like a bonding experience. And I'm like, wow, that's so odd. You know what I mean? But jealousy certainly is a thing. And it certainly is a way people try to, if they're not happy within, and kind of how you were talking about that person in the lunchroom or whatever it may be, and they don't want to eat with you. And, you got to look in the mirror, right? Because you're projecting all that negative energy. But at the same time, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Is it because that maybe you're unhappy? Then maybe instead of projecting it, just find a way to be happy.
Yeah.
Find the avenue to do things, or to be around people, or to surround yourself with things that make you happy. And then your personality will change. You know what I mean? And that's how you have to turn it, negativity on its head.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of us fall short.
Yeah.
Is if we're unhappy, then all right, well, if I'm unhappy, then I'm just going to kind of spread that around that I'm unhappy, and I'm going to bring everyone down to my level so everyone else can be unhappy like I am. You know what I mean? And that doesn't make sense, you know?
Yeah. You know what's funny too? Not funny, but I find that when I don't work out, so Sundays are normally the day like I don't work out, and I find I'm more irritable, if you will, on Sunday.
For sure.
And so whether it be like towards the kids or towards my wife, I just feel like I'm irritable. And so my thoughts will also tend to be negative. Whether it could be something where, Val didn't throw something away, something stupid, something minute.
Right.
But again, I've become more aware that, hey, like, take a chill pill. She didn't need to do that. You're letting your mind kind of be negative. And what I'll do is I'll take a second, just breathe, just go like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take a deep breath. And then right away, I'll think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. And what I try to do is, you and I have talked about this before many, many times. We're very family oriented. We always say we're thankful for our family. But there are times that I have to change it up. so that it almost doesn't seem repetitive. So it doesn't seem like it's just on autopilot.
Right.
So I'll say like today was a beautiful day out today.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like grateful for the weather. I'm grateful for Theo is not vomiting, this morning.
Right. Yeah.
But again, it's understanding that my mind is controlling me at this moment, and I need to control my mind, and I have to, again, stop the cycle, be aware of it, and change it.
Yeah. And some things are unavoidable too, though, right?
Yeah.
Like as far as negativity goes, like a sickness, right? Like that just happens. Okay, so listen, you didn't have a great week, man.
No,
you guys were sick. Shit sucked in your house all week long. There's no turning that into a positive, right?
Yeah.
But now, you know what I mean? In the coming days, when you guys are going to be on the uptick and things are getting back to normal, you can take your routine and your schedule and say, I'm thankful to have this schedule back again.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that I have my routine back. My health is back. My kids' health is back. And that's how you can turn it, because some stuff just isn't, you just can't turn into a positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Death, you can't turn death into a positive. It is what it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you can rely on the togetherness with your family and how it can make you closer and how you can lean on them and show different emotions. And there's different values in negativity that you can pull through after the fact. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not going to sit here and try to sell you that life is always sunshine and rainbows, because it ain't. Like, it's just not. But there's ways that you can pull things out of it after the fact that you can reflect on and use to grow your mindset in the future. And that's kind of what BG and I have been discovering and figuring out, and everyone will forever, because there's always new ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, and the thing too, man, I mean, like, even the successful people, they all have negative thoughts, but they understand how to control those negative thoughts or stop them in their path. The other thing too, for everybody that has families, everybody that has kids, when you have that negative energy or that negativity and you're bringing it home either from work or you're surrounding your kids and you're just giving off those negative vibes, your kids will feel that. Your kids will know that. Your kids will not want to be around you. Like, that is when you come home and you just ooze negativity, your kids are not going to be around you.
Yeah.
Your significant other may say, "Hey, did you have a bad day?" If they're asking you, that means you're bringing your negative shit home.
Yeah.
And you need to adjust it, whether it be, "Hey, I just need to go for a 5-minute walk," or maybe you take the kids with you for a walk because you want to be around them.
Yeah.
But again, it's being aware that you're in a shit state, and it's time to change that state.
That's an awesome point. That's an awesome point. And it can go every which direction too with that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, think about when you get home and your kid's in a shit mood, or your significant other's in a shit mood. What does it do to you? You know what I mean? So it's just contagious, right?
Yeah.
So control that temperature in the room the best you can, and make know when you're walking through the door, if you're coming home from work, wherever it may be, just maybe try to be a little more aware of that and be like, man, I had a shit day. Like, I need a minute here. Yeah. But when you go in, you're going to have, pets or spouses or kids or whatever, or the project at the house that you haven't finished yet is waiting for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, there's things that are always around the corner, but in order to turn that corner in the right way, you got to get rid of the negativity, because it's going to make that road so long. So I think there's a ton of ways that negativity in our lives affects us, but there's so much we can take from that to have a growth mindset. And a growth mindset, you're moving forward, you're winning, people around you are winning. And that's what I think everyone's life should be about, is the positivity and moving forward with it. So,
and I'm going to ask you I don't want to say it's a controversial question, but do you think, in your opinion, I'll preface it with that.
All right.
Do you find that negative people tend to have a fixed mindset?
Yes, I do. I think
why?
Because I feel like oftentimes, in my opinion,
that
negative people are both skeptical and pessimistic about a positive future and the way things can be. Because
so they'll dwell on the negative side of it rather than looking at what could possibly be.
Exactly.
Ooh, I like
exactly.
that.
I do. And that's about, I believe that. And I think that because I feel like oftentimes negative people resent the work it takes to make life positive. And when they see somebody who's putting in a lot of work to make their life positive, they resent it. And they stay there because of it, because that resent just kind of buries them further and further down. So maybe they don't like the work that can go in to making life a positive and enjoyment and, having love and laughter and all that, good shit we all want. Right. So yes. So I do think that negative people have a fixed mindset for sure. Do you agree with me or no?
Yeah, no, I would say I typically see that where people with a fixed mindset tend to think negatively. I'm reading a great book right now called Mindset by Carol Dweck, where she focuses on growth mindset versus fixed mindset.
Yep.
And with the fixed mindset, they're afraid to fail. They're afraid to try new things. Again, they think more on the negative side of aspects rather than thinking about the what if, the possibilities.
Yeah.
With a growth mindset, they're not afraid to fail. And if they do, they use it as a learning experience so that they'll continue to try and put forth an effort. And I think that's the biggest thing between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Is a growth mindset is you're constantly evolving. You're wanting and needing to learn new things. With a fixed mindset, it's basically, hey, this is what I'm left with. This is what I've learned to date. I don't need anything else. And I think with a negative mindset and a fixed mindset, the correlation there is that they're almost like, shit, man. You probably want to edit this out because I don't know where the fuck I'm going right now with this one. I don't know where I was going with that one. I had I think I just blacked out temporarily.
The flu.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell I was going with that one. We can edit that out.
That's fine. Well, all right. So you usually ask me a question at the end of the podcast a lot of times, right? Do you have one for me? Because I have one for you. So
I do, but it was Christmas related.
It was Christmas related. You have my attention. Okay. You have my attention for sure. All right. I'll ask you first then. All right. Okay. All right. And then I'll let you ask me here.
Did you want me to go into like steps on how to stop negative thoughts, or do you think we kind of cover that?
No, I think we
hash it.
We'll recap it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll recap it at the end here. I'll throw it to you to recap.
Okay.
All right. Sorry. So let me ask you a question here, since you always ask me questions. I'll ask you a question here, and I want to hear what you got to think, if you have off the top of your head. Okay.
All right.
So in our conversations today, we talked about our growth mindset. We talked about how to get rid of our negativity. We talked about ways that we've maybe have found work for us. Would you be so kind to share maybe one of the more prevalent negative thoughts that have been in your life that you've tried to remove in your time with having a growth mindset?
Ooh, that's a very good question. One that comes to the top of my head right away is, and I shared this previously, I believe maybe it was the fear one, but it was that I was dumb. Constantly beating myself, saying, "Oh, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm not going to be able to complete this project because I'm not smart, or I'm not good at presentations, putting together presentations." How I've stopped that is I constantly look at the past and when I've been successful, in projects, presentations, when I've been, recognized for those skills. And so it's able to me to not even basically go there anymore. So when I get new projects from work, for example, I'm not fearful because I have my past to recollect on, but also I'm very confident now in what I do. So that's been a way for me to really stop those negative thoughts of me telling myself I'm not smart.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Do you think that contributed to your love of reading now?
You know, damn, that's a damn good question.
I just thought of that when you're talking about it. Like I feel like that correlates in some way.
Yeah, I would say what reading has helped me with is I think my intellect.
Yeah.
I think my vocabulary has expanded, and I also would say my creativity, which is weird. I didn't think reading would do that. Yeah. I knew it would evolve my vocabulary, but I didn't think it would enhance my creativity.
Yeah.
But yeah, that has, and especially with reading Jim Quick, Limitless, he talks about learning quickly.
Yeah.
And so I have been able to use those tools that he's talked about in Limitless and applied them, especially with my new role. I'm almost a year into it. Mm-hmm. And I've picked that up really quickly, just using his skills and tools. So yeah, I think reading definitely helped with it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So do you have a Christmas question for me? Is that what I'm understanding here?
Yes, dude. You just blew my whole, for the audience to know that. So John, I have a question for you.
All right.
Okay, right, here we go. What is your number one Christmas movie?
Oh, Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
Oh, God. That was pretty okay, so I'm doing. I know it's like 101, right? Like everyone loves that movie, of course. So I'm doing The Lights on the Roof yesterday, and I always write or do something on my roof. I don't just do like the lights on the gutter and shit. Like I put like some kind of either like I draw something with the lights. I say draw, but like, make the lights look like something, whatever, like that, right? And so a couple years ago, I wrote "ho ho ho" on my roof with Christmas lights. Okay, but so like we're coming home one day, and two of the hose went out. So my roof just says "ho" in the middle of the roof. It just says "ho." So I'm like, these neighbors probably think I hate my wife or something like that.
Hilarious.
So I wanted this year. I'm thinking like, what should I write? What should I write? And I wanted to write on the roof so bad, "Shitters full." But I'm like, my wife would kill me if she came home and saw the roof says "Shitters full." So I could have done it, and I still might do it next year. I think it's so funny. But I'm like, is that like so like redneck? Like I'm like, I don't know, but that's cool. Easily the best Christmas movie. What's yours?
So I like that. That is definitely my top three. But I would say, Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Okay, I can't admit that. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Yes or no?
Fuck no.
Right,
everyone says it is, but it might have been around Christmas time, yes, but it's not a fucking Christmas movie. I'm sorry.
It's not. It's not. Get that negativity out of here. It's not. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
All right, man. All right. Listen, I think real quick, if you wouldn't mind, could you just recap kind of like maybe the steps that people can take or some key points people can take to maybe remove that Die Hard as a Christmas movie negativity out of their life real quick?
For sure. Yeah. Right. So real quick, just a couple recommendations to stop the negative thoughts right away. Number one, we touched on is change your state. That means get up, walk around, bang your chest, yell, breathe, but change your state, interrupt your thoughts. Okay. That's what changing your state does. Mindfulness, meditation. Okay, so you could do the movement meditation that John does that I talked about, or you could literally do maybe on the Calm app, which is a really good app, or literally just go on YouTube. Jay Shetty has some really good meditation as well. And then I would say the last step I would recommend doing is understand if your negative thoughts are helping or hurting you. Typically, they're hurting you. So pattern interrupt those thoughts. See if you can twist those into a positive, or focus on what you're grateful for, and then maybe consider what you tell a friend having the same thoughts that you are right now. You probably would not, tell them something different. So
right.
Yeah, just a couple steps there. I think that would be super helpful, and it's worked for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys. Well, that is episode 10. That's a wrap. Real quickly, BG, I know you'll share this sentiment with me. Our dear friend Josh, he lost his aunt this past week. Josh, we are thinking about you. We're thinking about the whole fam. We hope you guys are doing good. We hope this weekend held a little bit of closure for you guys, and getting to spend some time together. We hope it helped a little bit. We've been thinking about you, and we're sending all of our love and best wishes over to your family. So,
for sure.
But that's a wrap for today, guys. We will catch you guys. We have a awesome episode on deck for you guys next week. We are pumped about it. We can't wait to get rolling in the middle of this week with it. So stay tuned for some updates. Check us out on our IG page, and we will catch you guys there. Thanks so much.
See you guys.